So, what part of Cork disappears if this character vanishes? If the answer to that isn't instantly obvious, well, the character simply gets scrapped. This isn't just some quirky design prompt. It's actually the foundational philosophy of one of the absolute most fascinating digital ecosystems being built today.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a digital universe that is, quite frankly, unlike anything else out there. In a world where AI is constantly being used as a tool to escape reality, we're looking at a system built entirely to anchor it. We're going to explore how an entire city's heritage, its unique humor, and its digital soul are being fiercely safeguarded by a really strict AI framework, and, even more importantly, by human memory.
Okay, let's dive right into this. At a macro scale, the Corkonian universe might just look like a massive, fun cast of incredible characters. But when you look a bit closer, you realize this actually represents a sprawling, place-based civic operating system. Each of these figures, from Corkman to Corknan, is a tightly governed abstraction. They aren't just random internet mascots, right? They're living interfaces designed to map directly to the culture, the sports, the language, and the memory of Cork City itself. Now, to keep this whole universe perfectly intact, it operates under what they call the immutable laws of Corkonia. These design rules are strict. Every single character must be tactile, matte natural cork with visible joints. Absolutely no human skin or hair allowed, which, let's be totally honest here, would be absolutely terrifying anyway. Why this strict rule? Because they aren't real people. They are literal embodiments of civic shorthand, representing the phrases you hear every single day. And perhaps the most vital rule of the whole shebang, governance before humor. This strict framework guarantees these figures remain a structured archive of the city, completely immune to becoming just another chaotic, fleeting digital trend. And really, this is where the project fundamentally separates itself from the rest of the tech world. Normally, with traditional AI, you get unrestrained models, desperately seeking engagement, basically just inventing culturally hollow content for cheap clicks. We call that AI drift. But the Corkunion pipeline, it doesn't invent. It recognizes. It actively listens to the morning papers, the local airwaves, and the phrases echoing through the actual city streets, and it meticulously records them. Section 1. Governance before gimmicks. And this brilliantly illustrates what that governance actually looks like in practice. Notice the beautiful archival formatting here, the bronze ink, the deeply structured cream pages. The AI isn't out there writing hot-take opinion pieces. It acts as an immutable archive. At the end of the year, what remains is the Cork record, a verified log of civic events or signals that have been processed under highly defined standards. It's essentially taking the ephemeral, fleeting airwaves of a city and transforming them into a permanent, searchable history. Just look at the tangible assets being protected here. Take Cork Nan, for example, the guardian of data and lore. She is literally holding an elephant that represents immutable PostgreSQL databases, all while wearing a utility belt for Wasabi cloud storage to guarantee absolute audit readiness. Alongside that, you have the physical heritage being fiercely protected, the street art, the signage, the local typography. It is guarding both digital data and physical history simultaneously, acting as an impenetrable vault for the city's unique flavor. Which leads us to the golden rule of the entire project. They are not characters living in Cork, they are Cork living as characters. I absolutely love this framing. The generative AI isn't conjuring up some alternate reality or fantasy land. It is simply holding up a mirror to the city itself, reflecting its triumphs, its mischief, and its resilience in real time. Section 2, the Brain Trust, and their 25 years of history. Here is where the story gets incredibly intimate. Because to understand how an AI system can actually be this authentic, you have to realize that the ultimate algorithm running it is profoundly human. This entire governed AI pipeline rests on a massive shared history. Tracing this journey back, it actually starts a quarter of a century ago in the halls of a secondary school called Koliste Shristri. Over the intervening decades, this specific group forged a deeply shared cultural calibration, eventually formalizing this lifelong bond in 2026 into the founding council of the Corkonian universe. So it's a system run not by code alone, but by decades of shared memories and inside jokes. Formally, they are known within the system as the Kalesh to Kristri triad. This foundational brain trust essentially acts as the ultimate human shield. Think about it. In a world increasingly driven by completely inauthentic, engagement-chasing tech bro culture, this triad stands firmly at the gate. They ensure that the digital soul of Cork is protected by people who actually understand its true pulse.
Section 3. The core triad. Aid, Mac, and Davidus.
Let's look at the exact flow of governance here. Within the lore of the Corkonian Constitution, the triad members are referred to exclusively by their legendary nicknames. When an idea or a piece of local lore enters the system, it doesn't just get automatically generated and published. No way. It moves through a very strict human pipeline. First, the architecture is defined by Davidus, then the community memory is checked and guarded by Mac, and finally, the voice and humor are calibrated by Ide. It's a rock-solid three-tiered safeguard ensuring nothing hollow ever makes it through.
Let's break down these roles a bit more, starting with Davidus, the architect. He is the creator who defined all those immutable laws we discussed earlier. He ensures that creative freedom can safely and beautifully exist, but only inside of very strict governance. He sets the entire constitutional framework so the digital world doesn't just collapse into total chaos. Then we have Mac, the champion and keeper of community. Now, in any AI system, context is usually the very first thing to degrade and fall apart. Mac's crucial responsibility is to vigorously protect the archive, ensuring that the digital characters remain totally authentic to the real-world people and the local histories they represent. Without Mac, the whole universe literally loses its roots. Finally, there is Aid, the messenger and steward. Aid acts as the absolute ultimate filter for the authentic Cork voice. He is the vigilant watchdog guarding against AI drift and hollow digital gimmicks. Because of his deeply tuned, 25-year calibrated sense of Corkonian humor, absolutely nothing passes into the canon without his validation. He acts as the final, unbreakable seal of authenticity. Section 4. Digital Soul, Protecting Cork.
So, the crucial point we really need to take away here is summarized perfectly by this idea. The universe is designed to push them back out into the physical streets of Cork. Think about that for a second. Most tech platforms are desperately asking, how do we trap people inside our digital world for as long as possible? But the Corkonian ecosystem uses advanced AI to make you look up from your screen. It wants you to appreciate the real-world murals, the historical architecture, and the actual living community right around you.
Take a look at the sweeping visual output of all this, the Corkonian Chronicles. This massive, intricate tapestry is the tangible archival result of that 25-year brain trust, working in perfect harmony. It definitively proves that when you wrap powerful generative technology in strict, culturally respectful governance, you don't end up with soulless content. You get a genuine celebration of community, mutual respect, and real living heritage. Which leaves us with this final, truly profound thought. As we rush headlong into an era completely dominated by artificial intelligence, we really have to ask ourselves, if our digital future absolutely requires a soul to survive, is the ultimate, most powerful algorithm out there simply a lifelong human friendship? It's a beautifully fascinating intersection of advanced technology and deeply personal human memory. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.